Hey there, it's LDake again with Kale Realty, your Illinois licensed broker. And today I wanted to have a frank discussion on how to help you find a place that really does meet your needs, and it might even save you some money. First off, let me just remind you that I do have a lot of listings available. So let's take a look at a few photos. Okay, we're back. So this first portion, this is out for you landlords and sellers. I know you want to get the biggest return on your investment and you want it now. Of course we do, right? Well, you're in luck because there's a lot of buyers and renters out there right now, especially buyers. I mean, I'm sure you got in a refi if you could, and for the same reason that there's a lot of buyers out there right now. The rates are low. Totally get it, right? So if you don't have the time and or the budget to do all the bells and whistles, just remember, price will fix everything, okay? So whether you're going to put the place up as is, you're going to do a little bit of tweaking and updating, or you're going for all the bells and whistles, right? Get a comparative market analysis from a trusted realtor, okay? That means that you're finding out not just what is currently on the market, find out what's sold. Find out in your immediate area. Find out if these prices are really apples to apples. The difference being from a residential street to a busy street, that's going to make a lot of difference. If you're next to a train track, do you have hardwood floors? Things like that. Just keep in mind that at the end of the day, we all want to help you succeed, okay? So you're always welcome to ask away any questions or concerns before you start doing a lot of work, okay? Okay, so I'm bringing out my laptop here just to show you guys some examples. These are pictures I took back in the past of different places that I've marketed. I want you to take a look at them. Just think about, how do you feel about it? So let's get going. How do you feel about this one? What about that one? What's this place doing for you? What about that? So that first one with the carpet, how did that make you feel? Was that a hard no, or did you want to know more about the rest of the place? When it comes to buying, you can pull it up, see if there's hardwoods underneath, right? When it comes to renting, it's like, well, maybe it's a hard no for you, but maybe the landlord will pull it up, or maybe you're only going to be there for a year and everything else is awesome. So keep that in mind. The second picture with that crazy paint on the wall, I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool, but maybe it's not your style, right? So ask if it can be painted. Paint's kind of cheap comparing to buying a beautiful home. So maybe you want to paint it yourself and even ask for a little bit less when you're making your offer to cover for the paint. Or maybe you want to pull in full asking just because the place is awesome. If you're renting, again, ask the landlord, are you going to paint that? Or, hey, maybe it did work for you, all right? Now, the third picture, the one with the pretty basic kitchen, you got a stove and a fridge and not a lot of counter space. But did you notice that you might have space to put in a table, maybe get in a portable island or something? Did you even check to see if maybe the dishwasher is on the other side of the kitchen? You know, maybe it's one of those old school places where it's spread out. Do you need a dishwasher? Do you do a lot of takeout? Do you do a lot of cooking? You know, things like that. Ask yourself, can you get a portable dishwasher if you're renting? Can you put one in if you're buying? Things like that. Again, keep your options open if that's the only thing that's giving you a hard no about. All right. And then that fourth one where you just saw it looked like it was pretty small room, right? Well, did you pass by it immediately and saying absolutely not? Or did you ask to see if maybe that's only one of the rooms, maybe the pictures were out of order, and maybe that's just the office? Also, like I've had one renter some years back, they loved the graystone, but a lot of graystone places, you've got big living rooms and parlors and big eat-in kitchens, but then the bedrooms, they're 8 by 10 if you're lucky. So that place in particular didn't work for them, but the next place I showed them had a third bedroom, so they went with that, made one bedroom the bedroom, one bedroom an office, and the third bedroom walk-in dressing room for about the same price. So just keep in mind that things like that, maybe it's not so bad as you think off of, first impressions. Now, there are things that are going to be harder to look past. I know for renters, a big one is laundry. Some people must have in unit. Okay. Some people, they're willing to work with a coin op. And some people, if the price is low enough, they will use a laundromat. So, landlord folks, I always tell them, is there a way you can put laundry in? Because that's something a lot of people can't get past. But if there is no way, there's no way. A lot of times you got a place that's 100, 150 years old and it's just not in budget to do all that extra work. Same thing with central air. That's a big investment, and I get it. Not every landlord can afford to do it. Not every seller has it in their budget. So buyers and renters, you might have to consider that if it's something important to you, either, do window units, or you're going to have to get, the HVAC system installed yourself. If you're buying, obviously. I don't know if you want to do that if you're renting. The other thing, of course, the number one is location, location, location. So if everything else is ticking off, but it's kind of far from you, is it that big of a deal? Maybe you're willing to consider other areas outside of the tiny scope that you had your heart set on. Maybe it's just not within your budget. I get it. There's a lot of areas to consider, a lot of areas that people are just now learning about. For example, there's a lot of people that are rediscovering the South Side. Neighborhoods such as Bridgeport, McKinley Park, Pilsen, they're all getting really popular these days by people that have traditionally only lived in the North Side. And that's because they've put in, the trains and there's more transportation, and because it hasn't gotten overly expensive yet. You can get things like porches and actually outdoor space and things like that. The park, McKinley Park itself, it's gorgeous. It's even got a lagoon like Humboldt Park does. It's just a little smaller is all. But it's really nice. And there's actually, some decent parking around there. So again, keep in mind things like that. Ask your realtor, me, or I could refer you to someone in your area, what they can do for you as far as helping you to expand your horizons.